right, another day, another list from ESPN where they poll the execs and coaches and everyone that works in football. And today's list are the top tight ends in the game. No surprise at the top, you've got Travis Kelce, George Kittle, Mark Andrews, Sam Laporta, some of the marquee names among tight ends. But you have to scroll down quite a ways to find Cole Kmet. He is not even in the top 10. He makes the honorable mention segment. And I don't know if this is in order for honorable mention. If you look at it, it kind of looks like it is. But he is well down the honorable mention. So he would kind of slot in at 14th among tight ends. Are you surprised no Cole Kmet in the top 10?
I am not. So go ahead and, I can read you this list of the top tight ends. And you tell me whether or not you think Cole could be in this group. And you know how first of all, I love Cole. First of all, he's one of the finest young men I've come across. I think he's a good player. I think he's a traditional wide tight end, inline tight end. He's really good in the red zone. Good, good blocker. He's just not he's not like your Hawkinson, your TJ Hawkinson, who is a receiver playing the tight end position that is stretching the field. He's just, more of an old school tight end, but, a great teammate to have and an asset. Just you tell me. Travis Kelce's one. Number 2 is George Kittle. Number 3 is Mark Andrews from Baltimore, who's a fabulous player. Sam Laporta from Detroit, who was fantastic. He was a rookie last year?
Yeah,
was his second
he
year?
was a rookie last year.
He was really, 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 really good. TJ Hawkinson from Minnesota, who was traded to Minnesota by Detroit. Number 6 is Njoku from the Cleveland Browns. He's a fantastic player as well. Very athletic tight end. Number 7 is Dallas Goedert from the Philadelphia Eagles. Dalton Kincaid, a guy that I loved watching play at Utah. He was a rookie last year for the Buffalo Bills. I think he is adequately placed in the top 10. Evan Ingram with the Jags, who is also kind of a receiver playing tight end. Says here he was targeted 143 times. Did he really have 114 receptions last year?
Didn't he have a couple monster games last year?
Yeah.
I think he had a 3-touchdown game last year or something like that.
And Dalton Schultz from Houston, who, I would say Dalton Schultz is probably the weak link, and that's why he's at 10 of this list. The honorable mention, Jake Ferguson from Dallas. I will bet you this, whatever you want to bet, he climbs that list next year. He is a really good young player from Wisconsin, right? Am I right about that? Trey McBride from the Cardinals, really good player as well. There's a lot of really good tight ends in the league. Kyle Pitts is in the honorable mention group.
That's surprising.
I think that will change with Kirk Cousins, a more accomplished quarterback in town. So, no, I'll be honest with you. I'm not surprised. He's in pretty good company in the honorable mention category with Jake Ferguson, Trey McBride, Freiermuth from the Steelers, and Kyle Pitts. I'd say that's a pretty good group.
So the grades are reliant on their offensive production.
I think it's just all around, offensive production. Sure, there's the counting numbers, but also blocking factors into this stuff as well. Because you're getting pulled from scouts and personnel guys and stuff like that.
So they're not going strictly by numbers, because otherwise you can't go strictly by numbers with these guys, because some are in offenses that require them to block more than be a pass catching tight end. So.
Yeah, I think it's probably all encompassing as they put a lot into it. But no,
I'm still a little surprised though, because I'm surprised that Cole Kmet is an honorable mention, because the Bears were so quick to re-sign him, when it seems like now you're getting a lot of good tight ends that are playing and they're coming out. And I
think they got a favorable deal as well. It was I thought both sides won that, not won that, but both sides, that was a win-win. I think
they're not looking for anything more in the offense than what Cole Kmet gives them.
Well, I think Cole got paid handsomely for what he provides, and I don't think that they didn't give him $20 million a year, or I don't believe he's a top 10 paid tight end, is he? Or if he is, he's on the cusp of.
If he is, it's one of those numbers that'll be bumped up. Or he'll be bumped out very shortly.
Yeah. Now, it'll be interesting because Shane Waldron uses the 3 tight end set quite often.
Yes.
So that makes you wonder, which is why they've signed so many tight ends.
Maybe he's maybe with also a new coordinator, a new quarterback.
His grade gets.
Well, that's one of the
Next year we may find him in the top 10.
Yeah.
In the little blurb underneath his name, it says an NFL personnel evaluator said he's very underrated. We just don't know a lot about him because of Chicago's passing game. He's solid all around.
Yeah,
so that kind of goes to what you're saying.
To be honest, and again, I want to tell you he's the best tight end in the league because I like him so much. I think he's appropriately rated.
Yeah.
I really do. I think
it also kind of shows you just the health of the position as a whole now is as good as we've ever seen.
That's what I mean. Like, there is so many good tight ends right now that, out of curiosity, how do you compare, since we're talking tight ends and some of the better tight ends in Bears history, where do you put a Cole Kmet in relation to like a Greg Olsen?
Greg Olsen, better player.
Much better?
Him. Yeah, I would. I mean, at this point, Cole's got a long way to go in his career. I mean, he's still very young, but Greg was more of a difference maker. Greg was not.
He came in more as an offensive. Pass catching.
Listen, Greg's not going to make you forget Tony Gonzalez, but But Greg was, had a. I mean, it's unfair to say that Cole won't have as good a career as Greg because there's so much left in his career. But I would say now, I think Greg is the better talent.
Who do you think is the best tight end in Bears history? Mike Ditka?
Yes.
Second?
Probably Greg.
Really?
And I may be I'd have to go through the list. I mean, who else? Give me some more names.
Now I have to look up real quick.
Emery was a good player.
That's what I was thinking. But where's Emery?
Greg's ahead of Emery. Cap Boso, Jim Thornton, guys I played with, were very good players, but, Greg Olson's going to be listed ahead of them. I'm sure I missed Martellus Bennett was good, but I'd take Greg over Martellus.
Yeah.
I would.
He wasn't as good with the Bears as he had been.
Well, don't you remember they basically, Mike Mart said that I don't use tight ends, and that's why they moved on. And then he went on to have a spectacular career. In fact, a fantastic career, maybe spectacular.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Anyways.
Good call.
That was a good one.
What else?
All right. So we have the news now that Paul Skeens is starting the All-Star game.
First of all, bad mustache, Peg?
Yes, bad.
I think Tyler called it best. He said, great intention, poor execution.
Yes.
No, I think it's a flashback to sleazy 70s.
I don't know. Waddle ran a poll on Twitter. It's his lone Twitter poll he's ever run, asking if the mustache is back.
That was it. My question, is the mustache back? Many people said it never left, but Tyler, what was it? It was about as close as it could be.
But I believe the final verdict from the fine people of the internet said the mustache is indeed back.
Yeah, but like 50.8 versus 49.2, something like that. But yeah, I think your exact words, and I apologize for bringing what you said off the air to on the air, is not on the air.
Did you just say underwear?
I may have. I think what you said was it's not even a good porn stash.
It's not. It's not even a good porn stash.
Right.
It just gives you that kind of, that sleazy kind of. There's something, 70s about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, speaking of Paul Skeens and his face and his mustache, is Paul Skeens the face of pitching in Major League Baseball?
Wow, it's really early. Give me who else?
I mean, you can go with some of the old guard, like a Justin Verlander.
Is he even pitching right now?
I think he's had some injuries this year, but like Max Scherzer, Garrett Cole.
I don't think he is the face of pitching yet, but he is quickly climbing the ladder. And I think Major League Baseball did the right thing having him start in the All-Star game.
Yeah, that's exciting.
He's had 11 starts. You can't be the face of, you can't be the face of your position.
But he's starting the All-Star game despite having 11 career starts.
I know, but you're not. You answer your own question.
I think he is.
No, come on.
I think
you don't
I
believe
mean,
that.
I think part of it too is you look at who some of the great pitchers are in baseball right now.
Chris Sale?
Yep.
But how popular? What is the Q rating of a Chris Sale? Like he was gone for a little bit, so that certainly doesn't help him right now.
Well, the novelty or the newness of Paul Skeens enhances your point.
Like think about the favorites for Cy Young right now in each league. Tarek Skubal of Detroit and Corbin Burns of Baltimore. And then on the NL side, it's Tyler Glasnow and Zach Wheeler. I think Paul Skeens probably has a higher popularity than any of those four.
No.
You know what? I mean, Chris Sale would. It's interesting. I don't, listen, without, what's the guy's name with the two different colored eyes?
Scherzer.
Scherzer. Without Scherzer actually doing his thing, I think it's a touch early, but I can understand why you'd ask the question.
But the face of baseball?
No, of pitching.
Of pitching.
Because I think the face of baseball, and even though he is a
It's
pitcher
still
technically, is
Shohei.
Shohei.
Yeah.
But
That's what I
when
was
you
gonna
think of
say.
Shohei, you think of him as a two-way player. I think people still think of him as a hitter more so. And maybe it's just because he's been out and he's had some of these stints where he has gone a full or a big chunk of the year without pitching. But I always think of Shohei as a hitter first. And, I mean, he's still a damn good pitcher, but I would say he's a better hitter than he is pitcher. And he's very, very good at pitching.
Yeah. I would definitely. All right. I mean, it's definitely arguable. I mean, definitely I would say second half. Let's if you had to